today's video, I'm participating in the Fall DIY Challenge hosted by Domestic Diva DIY. Please go check out Miss Sonia's channel if you haven't already. She has some really awesome crafts on her channel. So today I've got these two deco mesh, the 21-inch and 10-inch, that were kind of used before, so I'm just trying to finish using them up. Some ribbon, and I got this red fresh farm pumpkin sign from the Dollar Tree, and I've got this work rail that I've used before. I got it from Craft Outlet, and I'm just gonna reuse it. I'm sorry if you hear me sniffle. I've got my allergies are really bugging me today. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to cut a straight clean edge and just get rid of that jagged edge. That way when I go to ruffle the ends and when I gather them, it will all be nice and fairly even. So all I'm doing is just walking my hands in and gathering the deco mesh, and then what I'm going to measure is 6 inches. So I'm going to use the first twist tie on the rail, and then I'm going to measure from that 10 inches and add in to the second twist tie, and I'm just creating the poofs. So every time I go from one twist tie to the next, I measure 10-inch poofs. Now it is important that when you're making the poofs that you've got the edges curled under, and I typically like to go ahead and make my poofs and then fluff them out at just before I go to put the other one on, the other deco mesh on. And then here I measure another 6 inches, and then I do the same exact thing on the opposite side. So with my 10-inch mesh, I cut it at about 12 inches, and here I'm just doing the ruffle method to where I am running my fingers up the center and with the curl side down, and I'm making kind of like a little bow tie. Then I just go straight on top of the twist ties and add my deco mesh in, and I give it a couple of good twists. Here I've got my 2 ribbons that I've cut at 14 inches, and I've already dovetailed them. So all I do is put one on top of the other one, and I pinch in the middle and kind of use my hand to curl them. Give it a good couple of twists in there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just tuck the twist tie inside the wreath, so the swag, so you don't really see it. And then I'm just going to do that with all of the twist ties. Now I did have to add a couple of twist ties, so with me adding a couple of twist ties on the second end, then there's a total of 13 twist ties. So here I'm just about to make my bow. I'm actually going to make 2 bows, but I'm just going to show you the first one. And I'm using 2 different ribbons from the Dollar Tree, and then this big spooler ribbon that I had got from Craft Outlet a couple of years ago, and I've been using it. So I'm just taking it and making a loop, and I'm trying to measure about 6 inches. When I do this method of bow making, I do try to measure out the total length sometimes. If I'm going to make 2 bows, then I do. That way I can make sure that they're both going to be approximately the same length or width, because you don't want one bow bigger than the other one. It just wouldn't look right. And so once I do that, Then I just keep turning the bow on itself, adding different loops. So I actually do a total of 3 turns on each side of the bow. Now what you gotta pay attention to, and one of the issues I was having making this bow, as you see me struggling here some, is because one of the the ribbon with the writing on it, it was trying to curl in on itself and go different directions. So you just got to make sure that they all lay flat and in the right direction. So once I've done my 3 twists, I fold it in half. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut about 1/2 inch on each side. And then I'm going to take the remaining the remaining ribbon on the spools and cut them evenly. And then I'm going to fold it in half and do the same thing where I trim about 1/2 inch on each side. So once I've done that, I take a pipe cleaner and I will attach the tails and the loops. Make sure I tie it on there pretty tightly. And then I will just alternate spreading the loops out. Now I don't know about you guys, but when I love a real big fluffy bow, and in order to achieve that, you have to have quite a bit of loops, and that way it could be real fluffy. But see, as I'm twisting the loops and spreading them, this is the reason I cut the ribbon when I folded it in half. That's why I cut the ribbon 1/2 inch in, because it helps you manipulate those loops better. And so all I'm doing is I'm taking it and I'm attaching it to the work rail at the top. And again, just doing a little bit of fluffing. That's one of the things about a gorgeous looking bow, is you've got to do a lot of fluffing, a lot of rearranging and arranging, making sure it looks good. And with bows like this that have a lot of loops, you definitely have to go through and make sure that all your loops at the bottom are also fluffed out, because sometimes they can hide in there. And then I just take the ends of the tails and I will dovetail them. So I've already attached the chenille stems with just some hot glue. I keep wanting to say super glue, with just some Gorilla Glue sticks, and I'm attaching it to the rail as well. And here's the dovetailing. You just take and fold it lengthwise, and then you start at the folded edge and cut upward to the other side to give you the dovetail. And I didn't show you the other bow, but here's the finished product. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys have a very blessed day.